What you're going to do is open up the animation practice file in Photoshop. If you do not see the timeline down here, you can either click on this tab in the bottom left-hand corner to view that timeline, or you can go to Window Timeline to make that visible. It should look like this where you see a frame. So what you'll notice is in your Layers panel, let me pull that up, you have everything on a different layer. So you have the rocket ship, you have the flame on another layer, you have a 3, a 2, a 1, and then you have the word launch, all on separate layers. So your first frame, you're just going to have the rocket ship. You're going to create a new frame by hitting on this little plus sign down here in the bottom of the timeline. And on this frame, you are going to make the 3 visible. Make a new frame and a 2. Make a new frame, make the 1 visible, make a new frame, make the word launch visible, make a new frame, and make the flame visible. On the last frame, you're going to hold Shift while you select the flame layer and the rocket ship layer. Then you're going to take your Move tool, and while you hold Shift on the keyboard so it stays in a straight line, you're going to move the rocket ship just so you can barely see the frame or the flames at the bottom. Don't have it go completely off the edge. So now click on frame 1 and you're going to hit the play button. And you are going to have created movement. So you have created an animation. But notice that the rocket ship kind of goes off the page dramatically. There's no frames in between this. So what you're going to do is go to frame 6, where you have the launch and the flame. And then if you look at frame 7, we're going to hold Shift and select both of those frames. And we're going to put some frames in between each of those frames so that we get a better animation. It just doesn't go from the bottom to the top. So this button right here next to the new frame button is called Tweens Animation. So tweens just means between. So we're tweening it. We're adding frames in between each of these frames. So if I click on that button, then I can decide how many frames I want to add. The more frames I add, the smoother the animation is going to be, but it's going to make the file size larger. For this, I'm going to put in 5 frames. You can put however many you would like in there. So I'm going to do 5 frames, and then you'll notice now that it added 5 frames in between. And then if I look at frame 6 where I started, frame 7, frame 8, frame 9, frame 10, frame 11, and frame 12, I've now created a better movement. So I'm going to hit that play button on frame 1. And so I have a better movement, but now it's too slow, making the animation kind of choppy. So if I go to frame 6, hold Shift, and select frame 12, so I'm selecting all of those frames in between, notice underneath the frame that there's a time on here. This is in seconds, so right now each of these is half a second. That's a long time. So I'm going to try, I'm just going to do 0.2 seconds just so you can see the difference in this. So I'll go back to frame 1 and hit play. So I did 0.2 seconds instead of 0.5. So now my animation is smoother. If I go to, so let's frame 6 through 12 and instead do like 0.1 second or no delay, then that movement should be a little bit smoother. Obviously, if I add more frames in there, then it will also make it smoother as well, but it does make the file size larger. Once you are done with this, you can choose how it's going to play. Do you want it to play once, play it 3 times, or play forever. Go ahead and choose forever. And then you're going to go to File, Export, Export As, and it should automatically pull up as a GIF. So GIF supports animation. It does not support a lot of colors, but we don't have a lot of colors in our animation. And then we're going to hit Export. And make sure that you're saving it somewhere where you will remember. And now, when I go to that file, let me find it. So it should be, don't mind all of my, there it is. So here's my GIF file right here. If I open it, it's probably not going to do anything. It's just going to kind of open this window and show all of my frames. So if I drag this into my web browser, so if I drag this into Google Chrome, now it will play. So you're going to upload that GIF into Google Classroom.